Hey folks, welcome back to Skip Squad Chronicles. This is episode 13, and I'm so happy to get to talk to one of my oldest Instagram friends, Jenny Linden, better known as @JennyJustJump. I always love watching Jenny jump. She floats like a butterfly, stings like a bee, and her love of skipping rope shines through in her reels and in the incredible way in which she supports community members, including yours truly. We dive into Jenny's jump rope origin story and talk about what keeps her showing up and skipping. So, Happy New Year, Skip Squad. I hope you enjoy. All right. So, Jenny Linden, welcome to Skip Squad Chronicles. I'm so glad you're joining me to talk. I've wanted this since the very beginning, and you sent me a message yesterday and said that you were ready to do it, and it made my day. It was my best Christmas present, so thank you.
Thank you.
So I wanted to just start out and say, first of all, you're quite literally my jump rope hero. Like from the beginning, I just have looked up to you since you've supported me since the beginning. I actually did go back and look at some of my first reels, which was kind of hard and embarrassing to watch myself skip in the beginning, but you were right there making comments on some of my first reels. And I've said it before in the podcast, that really made me feel like, oh, wow, there's somebody out there who's actually paying attention and making jokes. It started to make me realize there was really a community out there, and you kicked that off for me. So thank you. And also, I want to embarrass you really quick and tell you what I love about you. I mean, I love so many things about you, but I'll tell you a few of them. Like one of them is that your jumping style just clicks with me. I just love watching you jump, and you're a footwork person. I mean, like you do great rope work as well, but your footwork is so fun to watch. I dig that. I think I saw someone on one of your reels mention that they thought you moved like a boxer, and I thought that was a really good description. I think of you like Muhammad Ali. You float like a butterfly and sting like a bee, And then also you have great musical taste. I'm kind of a music nut. Always jump with music, and I love the music that you pick. And I also think of you, like looking at the number of reels that you have put out versus the number of reels I put out. I look like a compulsive, like I just put out stuff all the time. But so it makes me think, Jenny shows up and just gets it done. Like you show up and you work hard, and it shows in your reels. Like you are probably one of the hardest working jump ropers I know. And also along with that, you share the struggle of jump rope. Like, I don't know if you saw my discussion with Kaylee the other day, but one of the things I love about both of you is that you show how frustrating and how terrible it can be sometimes when you're trying to nail a trick or something like that. And you can't do it. And I think that's important for people to see that, to see that it's not all rosy. And it also makes it so much better when Jenny nails that trick, like, oh, yes, I've seen her struggle with that, and now she's doing it. So I think that's great. And then I guess the last thing I'll say for now is that, when I started my Instagram account, I did it on March 1st this year. And it felt like every post that I looked at, Jenny had commented on already. Like it didn't matter who I was looking at, where they were in the world. You were all over the place encouraging people and saying, great job, keep going, or fire emoji or stuff like that. And it just made me respect you so much, because I see you just lift people up around Instagram, and I talk to a lot of people, and everybody I talk to where I mention your name, they're like, oh my God, I love her. And so anyway, I will stop embarrassing you now, but I did want to thank you on behalf of me for the support, and then just all my other jump rope friends. I think you're such an inspiration to us all. So thanks for what you do. Also, we have the same favorite color. Like you wear black so much, and I wear black so much. In fact, I looked at your feed. I think you have something like 85 reels, and I actually counted the reels where you're wearing black. And I forget what the actual figure was, but it's between 65 and 70 reels you're wearing black. So like 90% of your reels. What part of the world are you in, Jenny?
In Sweden, Stockholm, Sweden.
Have you been there your whole life?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Years ago, I worked for a Swedish company, but I worked in Dallas, and the company was owned in Sweden. And so my boss was a Swedish guy, and it was a lot of fun. So I'm assuming you have similar weather to me right now. Do you have snow on the ground?
Really not snow, but it's kind of cold.
Yeah. I saw one of your reels where you were jumping outside in the snow. I think that was a while back, but you seem like you're more of an indoor jumper. in
Oh
general?
yes. Oh yes. I
Yeah.
hate to jump outside.
Really?
Yes.
What is it about jumping outside that drives you crazy?
You don't know. Feels that it's so much harder for me.
Okay.
So yeah,
Interesting. So what do you do for work? Like, what's your profession?
I work with medical devices
Okay.
for people to use at home, so they don't have to be in a hospital.
What type of medical devices?
Mostly like breathing stuff, like
Okay.
oxygen and alarms and CPAP. Is it called CPAP?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
For people with sleep apnea, the mask that sort
Yeah,
of
yeah,
forces air down. That's
exactly.
interesting because the company that I worked for was a place called Synectics Medical, and they were based in Sweden, and they did medical devices for gastrointestinal diagnostics. So things
Okay.
like, reflux and basically anything from the income to the outgo of food. They had some device to diagnose issues. Um, so we have something in common there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've noticed you've done several reels where you have done either collaborations or like remixes with other people.
Mm.
And I'm curious what that was like. What made you do a remix?
Mainly, I'm in this group that is called the Shuffle Group, and we're like 10 or 15 people in this group, and every month we have a um, like a routine or a special combo that we're gonna make, and we all
Okay.
make the same. And I was like, from the beginning, I was like, okay, I'm gonna remix this combo every time. Okay,
Okay.
that did not happen, but I tried. I tried. So
Hmm.
that's mainly the remixes I've done. Yeah.
So, and I said collaborations. Have you done any collaborations or has it just been remixing people? Not just been, but mostly.
Only remixing.
Yeah. I haven't done any real collaborations yet outside of the Christmas and Halloween skipping, which was basically just dress up in a costume and jump,
Yeah.
and then somebody edits it together, but it wasn't like planned out where we're going to do the same routine.
No. But yeah, I was also in that Halloween
Yeah, that was
skipping.
lots
Yeah,
of fun.
that's true.
So, can you talk about music and what role music plays in your jumping? I always see you with AirPods in, so I think you probably skip to music quite a bit, right?
Yeah, always.
Yeah,
And I have a what do you call it?
like a playlist or
Yeah, exactly. A playlist, and I have songs I like and songs that just pumps me up when I'm jumping. Can be all
yeah.
from Backstreet Boys to rock to 90s, and or if I hear a good song on the radio, I just put it in that playlist and just jumps, and it makes me feel good, and yeah, that's it. But the problem is then when
Yeah,
I'm
that's great.
gonna put it on the reels, I never like remember what song I've been jumping to. So
Uh,
it's like,
I'm so glad to
okay,
hear you
what?
say that because I have the same problem and I've like developed tactics to try and deal with it. Like have a playlist and don't put more than like 5 songs on the playlist because then it's easier for me to figure out what I was jumping to. But I can't tell you, it's got to be hundreds of times where I've gone, oh yeah, I don't need this. I'll remember this. I'll remember what
Yeah,
I jumped to. And then just the next day, I'm like, wait, what was that? What was I jumping to? So
yeah,
sometimes
I
I try
know.
and like sing a line or I'll just talk to the camera and say, it's Black Eyed Peas, hum
Yeah,
it. How often are you jumping or practicing?
twice a week.
Okay. Do you have a set schedule, like certain days that you go on, or do you just limit
Yeah,
yourself to 2 jumps a week?
no, I am a kid part time. So when I'm not having her, I go to the gym in the week, two
Okay.
nights. So, and I mean, I practice for like 2 hours,
Hmm.
like Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I really need a break because I mean, I'm exhausted.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so when you go to do your practice, do you have a warm up routine? Like, do you have a set warm up that you do or a cool down?
No.
No, you just jump right in.
Yeah.
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 That's cool. Do you, when you jump right in, do you like start with basic bounce or something like that to kind of get the blood flowing,
Yeah,
or do you,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, I sometimes I just if you have put if it's a song on that is like 3-4 minutes, I'm just telling my mind that okay, I'm gonna jump to the whole song. So if
Mm-hmm.
it's 4 minutes or 3 minutes, then I'm just gonna jump the whole song.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my warm up, you could say. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Do you feel like you have go-to moves or tricks or things that just you do a lot?
Yeah. Process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say crosses. You also do leg crosses, like
Yeah.
with your footwork crosses a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They look really cool.
Thanks. But it's hard to get away from it.
Um,
I mean, it feels like I'm doing it all the time.
yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. I have some go-to moves, like especially when I mess up, I do the little, duck walk thing or whatever, and I just do it all the time. But I guess that's okay. I've mentioned it a couple times on the podcast, and I meant to look it up today and I didn't find it. But there was one of the pieces of advice that you gave me at some point, or one of the comments that you responded to was me making a comment, something like, "Oh, Jenny, I can't wait till I grow up and I can jump like you." And you had a response, and I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was like, "Hey, your jumping is your jumping and my jumping is my jumping, and that's okay." Or it was something to that effect. And that really stuck with me. Obviously, I can't quote it verbatim, but it stuck with me because it made me realize, yeah, I don't have to measure myself up against other people. It's about improving myself. And
Yeah.
even on the last podcast, I mentioned that over the course of the summer, there was a lot of time where I really just didn't practice new tricks. Like when I would get done with work, I would go to the park and I would just jump for, a few hours. And most of it was just flow and stuff. And then I would watch reels and see somebody who had started jumping, months after I did. And they were like crazy good at the Mamba or whatever. And I'd think like, should I be better than I am right now? And then you would pop in my head and say, nope, your jumping is your jumping. And
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah.
that's okay.
That is okay.
Yeah. So thank you for that. Do you have any inspirations, or are there people that inspired you to jump?
From the beginning or now?
Yeah, I guess from the beginning. In fact, when did you start jumping?
It was last summer, so I've been jumping for like 1.5 years now.
Mm-hmm.
That time, it was like just some random guy I saw on Instagram. He was just, doing regular jumps for like practice.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always been struggling to work out, practice, and go to the gym. I hated it. And I was like, okay, but I need to do something. And I mean, in this age, it's like, if you don't do anything. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try it. I'm going to try. I buy a rope and I try it.
Mm-hmm.
And my God, I could not take how much I sucked at it.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, it was something in my head that triggered me so much that, I
Yeah.
mean, I cannot take this. I gotta do it. I gotta just keep on jumping. So
Mm-hmm.
I went to the what's it called? The cross jump.
Like CrossFit gym or something?
No, the ropes that are a little bit heavier. Um,
Oh,
never.
yeah. Are they CrossFit ropes?
No, they like.
I
Oof.
can't remember the name.
No, they have an app, and they have a lot of
Okay.
ropes. And I went to the app and just starting to do their workouts, like regular jumps, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like 15, 20 minutes. And I did that for a couple of months. And now I can't even remember what the question was.
Is it, well, kind of like how you got started, like when you got
Yeah.
started and why? And so are they called cross ropes? Is that?
Yes. Yeah.
And I've not used those, but I've heard people talk about them. You get multiple ropes that are of different thicknesses and weights,
Yeah.
and then you just kind of, is the program to kind of work until you get heavier, or do you start heavier and work? to get
No,
lighter?
you have like, if you do 15 seconds like regular bounces, 15 seconds with the crosses and whatever. And then you have like 1 minute power break, and you change the rope for like
Okay.
heavier. And then you do 15 seconds with the same as
Okay.
blah, blah. Really good. So that's how
So that's why you're so buff.
yeah.
So you started with the cross rope stuff, but then I've seen you use beaded and PVC as well. Did you sort of leave the cross rope stuff behind, or do you still kind of mix it up with different types of ropes?
No, I kind of get, I love the PVC ropes from the start. It just fit
Hmm.
me really good. I mean, it was fast and everything. So I've been a really PVC fan for a long time.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
now the last couple of months that I've really tried to like beaded ropes, and
Hmm.
I'm actually starting to like them even more now.
Yeah.
And it looks better in the reels too.
Sometimes they're easier to see, right? Like
Yeah,
sometimes those little speed ropes or those PVC ropes, you get whipping so fast, it just looks like you're moving your hands, and
exactly.
everything else is a blur. I'm curious, like when you started working with beaded ropes more. By the way, I have my J-Trip rope here, named after my friend
Well,
Jenny. Jenny just jumped. When you started using beaded ropes more, like how do you feel them differently than PVC, or how is jumping with a beaded rope different for you than a PVC rope?
it's much slower.
The beaded rope,
Uh, yeah. So,
yeah,
I mean, coming from a PVC, it was hard for me to do it slower. I don't know how to explain it, but
yeah,
so yeah,
yeah. I know what you mean. There's some moves that just need a certain amount of speed, right? And when you slow
yeah,
down, it's like or at least for me, when I slow certain moves down, it's like I get in my head and I'm thinking about it too much, and then I goof it up.
yeah, and I trip up all the time.
Yeah,
Oh, but I'm starting to learn with the beaded ropes.
yeah. Um, Yeah, I like them both. I was jumping with a PVC rope last night, but I jump with beaded a lot more than PVC, I would say. And part of it is here, I like to jump outside. And when it's cold outside like this, PVC just does not work well. Like it's all stiff and
Yeah,
breaks. So one of the things that I was telling a friend that I was talking to you earlier, or a coworker, and I was saying that one of the things that I loved about your reels is that you show the frustration of jump rope as well, and that you've posted a few reels where you throw your rope, which always tickles me. And not that I'm trying to laugh at your misfortune or anything like that, but oh my God, it just makes me laugh so hard. So my question is when things are hard, how do you handle that mental side of jump rope when you have to focus or you have to push through tough problems, or
we don't.
you just throw the rope?
Yeah, but honestly, I'm much better now. Actually, I mean, I was a monster in the beginning. Uh, Jesus, I mean, it's oh no. I mean, I don't take it that seriously anymore. But yes, of course, I get angry still,
Hmm. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah,
yeah,
but I
yeah.
try to.
I do occasionally. Yeah, right. Like,
Yeah.
all right, center myself, take a deep breath. It's not that big a deal. One of the things that I saw, and this was months ago, this was probably early summer or something. You had a post where you made some comment about showing up at the gym with a bag full of a dozen ropes. And I thought, oh, that is a woman after my own heart. Like, actually, at the time, I thought, oh, that sounds really cool. And now I've got a backpack that's got a dozen ropes. They're hanging all over the house.
Yep.
Do you have a favorite rope that you go to, or do you have favorites?
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of ropes, and the thing is that I've been trying to use them all. If I go
Hmm.
to the gym on Monday, okay, I'm gonna take these ropes with me, and on Tuesday, okay, I change to these ropes. But in the end, I'm starting to really feel that it's not good to change ropes all the time because they all are
Mm.
different.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been trying to just, limited the
Yeah.
ropes. So yeah, I'm starting to get a few favorites. Yours, of course,
That's very nice of you.
but I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah. Uh, um, so you decided to pick up a rope because you felt like you needed something physical to do so that you maintained your health. And then once you started, how long did it take before you were like in love with it or before you knew like I'm gonna stick with this?
I would say almost from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And that was a shock to me because
Yeah.
I've never
What
like,
about it was shocking?
that I wanted to work out, and
Hmm.
that had never happened in my life before, ever.
Hmm.
So, and like I said before, I mean, it triggered me so much that I just wanted to get better and better and better. Oh, yeah, it was the perfect thing for me.
Yeah.
So,
It's so fun, isn't it? I mean, like I've had that experience of going to the gym and going to the gym, like it could be okay. I could put on music, I can get through it, but I don't have like,
yeah,
but going out and skipping rope, it doesn't matter if I'm whacking myself in the shin or if I'm swearing or whatever. I still have fun every time.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you can feel from the beginning like, oh, I don't want to do it. But as soon as you're just starting to jump the
Yeah.
place and the music, it's like, and then it's like, okay, that was 2 hours. So
Yeah.
no, that's it. That's it's truly amazing.
Yeah. So when I noticed was a few months ago, you kind of changed the venue that you were jumping in. Like it seemed like you were jumping at one gym pretty
Mm.
constantly for several months, and then you sort of changed. I'm curious, do other people jump in the gyms that you jump at, or where you jump, or is it just you?
No, no, it's
Yeah.
just me. I have a lot of people coming up to me actually at the old gym, and they're starting to come up at the new gym too, and ask me about my ropes and can I try what? Can I try it once? And so yeah, people are really curious about it, so
Yeah.
that's fun.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
is cool. So the new place that you jump is a gym as well. That
yeah.
purplish place. It's so
Hmm.
pretty. I love that setting in your reels. It's so fun to look at. So when you started jumping, how did you learn? Like, how did you start to learn how to jump? Were you just watching people on Instagram, or did you get a coach or an app or?
Honestly, mainly from the Crossrope app,
Okay.
where they had just a few steps, like just the basic
Hmm.
steps.
Hmm.
I feel that that was so good for me to just focus on that. Because then
Hmm.
when I started my account on Instagram, it was like, oh my God, I was all over the place. I mean, I looked at that one and that one and that one, and I was like, okay, for first, I suck. Two, I cannot do anything of these things. So, no, I was so happy that I was starting out just basic. So, and that is actually what I
Hmm.
try to tell newbies right now when
Hmm.
they ask, like, okay, do you have any tips? Yeah, just start out regular bounces, start to feel the rope and yeah, just feel it. I mean, you don't have
Yeah.
to start with a mic release or anything like that.
That sounds like a recipe for rope throwing if you start with the mic release. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a really good point because it would be easy to watch people on, Instagram or YouTube or whatever and see people doing these crazy things like, if I would have seen what you do when I started, well, when I saw what you did when I started, I was like, that is just magic footwork. Like I want to be able to do that. But I think it is important to kind of get the basics down. And I think I've even said on the podcast before that my coach, Gotti, he has mentioned he is big on the basics, like get the basic bounce down and get your single hand swing down and practice it every time on both sides. You got to learn to move that rope. And that's made a big difference for me, just paying attention to that stuff. Because I think it makes, once you have those fundamentals down, it makes learning new tricks easier because you're not having to, oh, how do I do the single hand swing and do this? It's like you've got that down, or at least you're more comfortable with it.
Definitely.
Yeah. So what do you do now as far as learning? Like you started with the cross rope app. Are you still using that? Or you mentioned you're part of a group where you're working on footwork routines or you're working on certain routines. How do you progress? How are you learning now or finding out new things to do?
It's mostly, I mean, there is so much that I can't do. And I mean, I have the awesome Annie that it's like, it feels impossible to me to do. And the Kruger and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, I'm trying to learn it and I practice it. And yeah, but I mean, I see other people do things that I'm like, okay, I save it back here and just practice it. Yeah.
So are you like watching tutorials on Instagram when you see a specific footwork or something that you want to do, the awesome Annie? Are you watching tutorials?
Yeah, I do. Or other people that just do it. I try to, look at it and just trying to figure out how to do it. So yeah.
What would you say is like the thing that you've struggled with most in learning, or what is the hardest stuff for you to learn? You mentioned
the
awesome
mic
Annie.
release. Yeah, but the mic release for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long did that take you to learn?
Probably, I would say more than 6 months.
Okay, I feel better.
Yeah.
With my progress because I'm not great with it. I can land it sometimes, but
the thing is with the mic release, I mean, I struggled with it so hard. I mean, it felt like every week, every time. I mean, I was at the job, at the lunchtime, I was like practicing mic releases in the evenings, and it was like, oh no, I'm never gonna learn it. And then I did, and then a couple of months after, a girl wrote to me and like, oh, I love your mic releases, but how do you do the double mic release? And I was like, what double? So the thing is that
isn't that just rope throwing? The double mic release is just rope throwing, right?
The thing is that I had been learning the double from the start, not the regular. So I guess that is a little bit harder. And now I can't do regular mic release.
Okay, so when you say the double mic release, does that mean like 2 rotations of you let go of one handle and you do 2 rotations of the rope before you catch the handle again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is that not pretty standard? I sort of thought that was pretty standard.
I don't know, but I think a regular, I mean, you cannot ask me about those things. I have no idea, but I think it's a regular mic is like the easiest thing to do. Like one bit.
Just like one rotation.
Yeah. But I can't do that.
Yeah.
So I have to learn that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people are just so amazing with the releases. Like it really still looks like magic to me. Like I had Sean Hargis on early. I think he was like on the 4th episode or something. And watching him do mic releases and catch him over his head, like he's flying around everywhere and he catches him and all these, like it just still looks like magic to me. But I know I need to work on it. So what is on your list of tricks or skills to learn next?
Like I said, definitely awesome Annie, and just trying to do a little bit more footwork because, like I said, I just freestyle and I end up doing the same thing all the time. So I definitely want to learn more footwork.
Like what kind of footwork?
Like different footwork, like different combos or stuff like that. But
have you ever gone to like a jump rope meetup?
No.
Would
No,
No.
I'm just kidding. No, I definitely would want to, but
Hmm.
I'm a little bit shy. So,
Yeah.
but probably if it will be in London or something like that that is quite close to me, I probably would go. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I have the same sort of feeling. Like, I think it would be so cool to be around so many people that I could learn from and watch jump. That would be awesome. But I'm enough of an introvert that I can also see myself being like back up against the wall, just, like, don't talk to me.
Same here.
Yeah. So one of my questions that I've been asking people is like advice for newcomers, and you are newbies, and you already said like take it slow, like learn the basic bounce and stuff. Do you have other things that you would tell a new jumper just starting out to help set them on the right path?
Yeah, I mean, I believe it's hard on the Instagram because it's so easy to compare yourself to other people. And I believe that is the worst thing you can do. But I mean, I don't know how you should not do it, you know,
Yeah.
because it's easy because you look at everyone and you're like, my God, I want to be like that one and that one. But just try not to compare yourself to other ones and just to do your thing. And just try
Hmm.
to focus on your thing.
Hmm.
Because we've all been there. We've all been
Hmm.
with the first, steps, and we know how hard it is. So yeah, and the
Yeah.
basics. Not trying to, you know,
Yeah.
be up here.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if you try for stuff that is too complicated up front, not only is it a recipe for rope throwing, but it could just be sort of depressing, or feel defeating, like, oh, I'm never going to get that. But if you can get the basic bounce and do that, and then maybe add a cross, and then just work
Hmm.
on crosses for a bit, and then, add one thing a week or every couple weeks or something like that, I think that could be really helpful.
Definitely. And I mean,
So, no, please.
no, and I said, it doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter if you only do just bounces and some crosses. I mean, the community is so awesome. I mean, we just push each other. I mean, even if you have 3 million followers or you have four, I mean, it's not a difference. So yeah,
Yeah.
just stick to your thing. I would
Yeah,
say.
I think that's great advice. So when you started jumping, when did you start realizing like benefits of jumping? You mentioned, you felt like you needed something physical to do, but how long did it take before you started realizing like, hey, this is really helping me out? And how did it help you out?
Hard to remember, but I would say maybe like since I mean, I always had a membership at the gym, but I mean, it could be like I've been 10 times a year.
Hmm.
But when I started jumping, and maybe like after 4 months, 5, 6 months, I truly felt that I wanted to go to the gym. If you understand what I mean, that
Hmm.
I felt so good to work out.
Hmm.
And that is like hallelujah moment for me.
Yeah, right.
It is
Yeah. Were you doing other workout stuff, or was it all rope?
all rope.
All rope.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what, like, did it benefit you physically? I mean, obviously it benefits you physically. You kind of can't help that. But I'm curious, what physical benefits did you get, or did you get any mental benefits from jumping rope?
Yeah. First, I lost weight. I felt so much happier. My self-esteem or
Hmm.
confidence got
Hmm.
better. And also, one pretty cool thing is that a few years ago, I had a stroke in my brain. And
Oh.
since after that, my balance was really shitty. So I started to jump rope. It's like, and that is so cool.
Yeah,
That is amazing. So
that
yeah,
is amazing. Yeah, I'm so impressed with all of the physical benefits that jump rope has brought me, from, balance as a great one. Like, I've joked, but it's actually not a joke. Like, being able to bend over in the shower and pick up soap off the bottom of the tub with one foot, without having to worry about face planting. That's a good one, it means something. But yeah, losing weight is a good one. And the endurance, just feeling like, I can keep going at this,
Yeah.
So what is your favorite rope color combo? Like if you go to buy a rope, what are you looking for?
I like them all. That's the problem.
Uh-huh.
But now I can see when you are doing a reel, if you have a white one, it shows really good. That sounds so stupid now when I hear myself.
No, I mean,
It looks good on your reel, but oh my God, you cut
yeah.
that.
No, I mean, honestly, I will fess up. I think about that. Like, in fact, I went back to some of my really early videos last night and watched some of the beginning ones. And one of the first ones that you commented on, I think it was maybe the second one that you commented on, was one where I was jumping outside and the lighting was terrible. I had no idea how to film myself. So I used my camera and I so I could see myself, and it was so dark. And I said something like, "This is my
Hostage
jumping. It
video.
looks like a hostage video." And your comment was hostage video.
I will never forget that. It's the funniest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, like when you're making a reel, like what is your setup like? Do you have when you go to the gym and you're going to film yourself, do you have a little tripod or do you prop your phone up against something?
Yeah, put up lights and the sheets. No,
Yeah.
no, I try to just put my phone in like so that no one can see that I'm filming myself.
Yeah.
And like I said before, I jump for almost 2 hours every time. And after like 1 hour, I put record on. So from that hour, hopefully it's a reel. But yeah, and that's basically how it's done. I mean, I
Yeah.
just jump, and then look at it, and it's like, yeah, feels pretty good. I can use this one.
Yeah. So you jump for about an hour and then you start recording.
Yeah.
And during that first hour, are you listening to the same stuff that you're going to jump to when you're recording yourself? Like, are you sort of practicing for that second hour? Or are you just
No.
working out?
Yeah.
Just
Just
working
working
out.
out, because that is really, I mean, I love this community and I love my page and everything, but everything like that. But the main thing for me with jumping rope is that I actually get my workout. So that is the most important thing for me to, feel healthy and everything like that. And if it's a reel, that's great. That's not the main thing for me.
Well, that's great. Well, you obviously you have calves of steel. Like when I see your legs, your calves, the back of your legs are like made of iron. You look like a total boxer.
But that's not because I never stretch.
No, it's because you have huge muscles. So let's see here. I was going to ask you, in some of your first videos, I think you have someone filming you, or you must have help because the camera is moving around a little bit.
Yeah.
Did you recruit someone as your camera person?
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. So can you talk a little bit about the jump rope community? I mentioned how much that I've seen you around the community and how inspired I was to try and participate based on seeing you interact with people. But what has the jump rope community meant to you?
Everything, I would say. I mean, I don't have the words to describe this community. I mean, before I just hated social media, Facebook, Instagram. I mean, I was just taking the piss of it all the time. But this community is something else. And I mean, I can't wait to go on Instagram and just look at all the reels. And now that I call all of you my friends. I mean, from all over the world, and it's like it's amazing. I don't know what to say. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. I have the same exact feeling. Like social media was always a chore for me. Like I had to do some for business and I got to do it for work. What am I going to tweet or whatever? And it's just no fun. But once I started realizing there was a jump rope community and seeing how inclusive and supportive it was of people, it's like, wow, this is actually a corner of the internet where good things happen, you know?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, let's see here. Covered a lot of my questions. I'll edit this, of course, but well, I guess one question is, do you have any other advice or things that you would say to people in the community who are thinking about jumping rope or thinking like, is this for me?
No, I don't.
All right.
You should never take advices from me.
Don't take advice from me. Do as I do, not
No,
as I say.
no, but if you're thinking about, oh, it looks fun, just try it. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's all I can say. I mean, I truly believe it's not for everybody. I
Mm-hmm.
do believe you have to have something in your brain that is like I said with me, that it triggers you, that you want to be better all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that a lot of us have that, a gene or something. But yeah, it is fun. It is.
It is so fun, isn't it? Yeah, I can't think of any other sort of exercise that related thing that I've ever done that I would consider fun. Like
No.
running to me is miserable. Like it's just boring. But yeah, jumping is so much like dancing and because I love music so much, you mix it with music and it's just pure fun, right? Like
Yeah.
even you see me even in my reels when I mess up, I'm still laughing and dancing around and
Yeah,
stuff because it's just a ball.
it is for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, well, I just think the world of you, Jenny. I just think you're such a cool person, and I really thank you so much for being willing to come on and talk to me. What you do for the jump rope community is amazing, and the way you participate and you lift people up is so inspiring to me. And truly, I try to do the same thing, and a lot of that is because of your great example. And so, thank you.
Thank you, Dizzy. Thank you. Really.
Right back at you, my friend.
Well,